Hey there everybody, this is McFlyGold, and in this video I'm going to show you a very simple and easy way to create a damage over time system for your game. And it'll look something like this. And now they're dead. Alright, let's get to it. Okay, so this is a basic third-person template. I have made no changes whatsoever to it. We can run and jump, and that's it. Alright, so the first thing I want to do actually is go into the editor preferences and change the windows that open to the main window, and in my blueprint editor I like to change save on compile to on success only. This way I don't have to compile and save every time I compile a blueprint. It just automatically saves for me. Okay, our third person character, we are going to find an empty spot over here and let's create a couple of variables. The first one will be damage received, and let's make that a float, and this one will be health float, compile, and let's make our health 10. Okay, so we're going to create a few custom events, but before we do that, let's start the damage, receiving damage here. So we're going to take the damage received and set it from what comes in. And we're going to take our health and subtract the damage that we receive. Then we'll set our health to what's left over. Alright, so that should be pretty easy. If it is less than or equal to 0, then our player is dead. And for here, we'll just do a simple print string. Dead. Make it red so that we're serious. And we'll display it for 5 seconds. Does that look red enough? That doesn't look red. Let's kill the blue there. There we go. We're really serious. Okay, we're dead. That's it. Compile. Okay. So that's our damage code. Very simple. Now we're going to create a few custom events. Let's zoom in here. Okay. So the first one we're going to call start damage over time. Second one we'll just call damage over time. And then the third one will be end damage over time. Now from the start one, what we're going to do is we're going to create a timer. Timer by event, and we're going to connect that event there. We'll say the timer is every 1 second and it's looping. Now we will promote this to a variable and just call this the damage over time timer. Alright, that's all we have to do up there. Now here we're going to apply damage. It's probably unconventional to apply damage in our player to itself, but we're going to get our damage received, and that's going to be the base damage. And here it's going to be self. The last one here, end damage over time, we're going to bring in this timer and we're going to say clear and invalidate timer by handle. So that'll stop that timer from running. Sorry for me, I kind of get a little, I like them to be on the same line and stuff. Anyway, I'm not going to let my OCD kick in right now. We're going to add a little bit more to this in just a moment, but I figure the next thing we'll do is... Alright, I don't like casting. I try to avoid it as much as possible. So I'm going to create a blueprint interface. I'm going to call it BPI refs. And this is going to be my player ref. We're going to create an output. We're going to call that player ref. And then this will be my BP third person character. Compile and close that. And our third person character, I'll go to class settings and add BPI refs. Go to the interface here on the side, open this up, and say self. Now we have a reference to our player character without casting to it. We can close that. And we're going to make what will damage us, which will just be a little sphere, but it can be a fire or gas or whatever horrible thing you want to do to your player. Blueprint class actor. And let's call it BP, and I'll say it's fire. Open that up. And we're just going to add a collision sphere. Well, we'll say, I don't know, 96. We'll make it big. And hidden in game will turn off. Now let's pull that out into the world and just see. Yeah, that's nice and big. You'll notice it. Okay. Now we're going to create a begin overlap and end overlap. This other actor, we're going to say player, and it's going to have a reference to our player. We're going to make sure we're valid. And we'll duplicate that and put that there. Duplicate with Shift D, just in case you didn't know. So if we are overlapped by the player, and the player is it's valid, it is the player, we're going to set the damage received. This is coming from the player. And let's say it's 2. So we're going to receive 2 damage. It's a little low, I know, but okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to call our damage over time event. And then we're going to call our start damage over time event. And when we end overlap, you guessed it, end damage over time. All right. Now, this one here, you can leave off if you don't want the player to get damaged immediately when they step into this sphere. This will be the initial hit. Boom, they took damage. If you want it to be that it waits for the timer, which we have set to 1 second, so it'll wait 1 second and then damage the player, leave this off and just connect this straight up. But I want the player to be damaged immediately, so we are calling that first, then we're calling the timer. Hope that makes sense. And as of right now, everything that we have should work. We can test it really quick. So let's maximize and play, and it should, after 5 seconds, say dead on the top left corner. Dead. Here you go, we're dead. So the code's working. If that's all you needed, there you go. You have a damage over time system. It's very simple. It's not complex at all, but it works. Consider this mini bonus content here. I'm just going to create a little like damage pop-up over the player. Let's just add a sphere. We're going to pull it up over our head. I'm gonna make it small. It's just a location. Whoop. And we'll pull it down. All right. So sphere, we'll call this, I don't know, damage text location. I didn't capitalize that T. Okay. It's not going to have any collision. No, we can't step on it. It does not generate events. Okay. And it is hidden in game. There we go. Okay. So I just want that for a location. Let's create the widget. W underscore damage text. Open that up. Create 3 things in here: a canvas panel, a border, and a text. So the border I'm going to name screen position. The brush color will be 0, and I will size the content. Text I will call text block damage. That's a variable. And I'm going to make it really big. It's just for demonstration purposes, and I'll give it a black outline of 3. Compile. Now we're going to go into the graph and add just a little bit of code in here. So delete that, delete that. All right. We're going to get the player character, get our player reference, and that's why I like doing it this way versus casting. Plus, casting calls all the extra stuff on your player actor, and this doesn't, from my understanding. We're going to get the damage received, and we're going to get the text. And we're going to always do that. I used the wrong one. There we go. We're going to pull that in there. So now that'll take the damage number that has been applied to your player and apply it to the widget. Next, really quick, we'll make a little animation here. I'll call this fade. We'll add a track for the text block damage. And basically I want two things here. Okay, render transform. I want the Y position. So at there, we'll just, okay, Y position, we'll add a keyframe. And at half a second, we'll say, let's say negative 60, no, negative 120. There you go. Add another keyframe. And then the render opacity here, we'll go back and say fully opaque and invisible. So there you go, it has a little animation. Go back into here, we'll grab the animation and play it. And then we're going to get the end time. So when the animation is over, we'll add a delay. Remove from parent. My cat is meowing in the hallway, so if you hear him, I am sorry. Okay, now close that, close that. All we need is to add a little bit here on the damage over time. So that's going to make the text pop up. So let's get the player controller. We're going to get the damage text location. Get the world location of it. Project. It's world to screen. All right. Now here we're going to create a widget. That widget will be the damage text. Add to viewport. And then here we're going to get the screen position, which is that border that we made. And we want set render translation. And we're going to connect the screen position to that. And then we're going to connect this to there. And compile. That should be it. So if we come in here, go full screen. If you don't go full screen, the damage text doesn't line up with the method that I'm using. There are other ways to do this. But there we go. We're getting damaged. And now we're dead. Now you'll see that it keeps running. So what I didn't do, nope, don't start again, is here, when player is dead, we want to call this end. DOT. So that means once we're dead, 4, 6, 8, 10. We're dead. And then it stops ticking. So the timer stops. We're no longer running. If I end that and start it again, if I run through, it should just tick one time. We'll get 2 damage. Now we're dead. Now, the reason that happened was because it doesn't know that we're dead. Technically, you would have to add a little bit more functionality to the fire. Like, you would have to come in here, and if the player health is, at a certain place, then go ahead and run the code. If it's not, do something else. But I mean, at that point here, now that you've checked that the player is dead, your code really should be doing something like respawning the player, or going to a new checkpoint, starting the level, or whatever. So all right, there you go. That is a simple and easy way to do a damage over time. You are now free to go gas your players, or set them on fire, or drown them, or whatever mean thing you want to do to them. I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. Stay safe out there, and I will catch you in the next episode.